you know what I like? I like cars. And do you know what else I do like? Tsukuba Circuit. It is the Predator series here at Tsukuba Circuit. Welcome everybody, and how do you do? Quite a field today, but don't let that get you down. 3 minutes after qualifying at Tsukuba, and we are, well, we're joined by Craig King. Craig, how are we?
Good evening, Rob. Not doing too bad. Welcome to Tsukuba. Welcome to the Predator. Now, I was away last time for the chaos of Charlotte, but I think I've come back to more chaos at Tsukuba. Let's just run it down quickly. Tsukuba Circuit, created in 1970, basically as a way to help new drivers, get the kids into racing, and it's track young people, and it's done for track days nowadays, as well as really Formula D. You do get a few races on it, but a lot of it is track days, and most importantly, time trials. In fact, doing around here, doing time trials is a big thing. Do you know what the lap record is around here? 49.445 seconds. And that is by one of the drifting stars of Formula D, Notaru Taniguchi. Not sure what car he set that in. Oh, it was a Toyota 86.
Of course, it was a Toyota 86.
It's a Toyota 66. The only car to break the 50-second barrier. We may see some 50-second laps around here today by the Radicals. It promises to be fun.
Well, not with a track temperature of 59 degrees Celsius.
Nanny?
I did
not even mean to say that like that. I did not mean to do that.
Like, I'm being genuine. You do not have to adjust your glasses or your screens. It's 59 degrees out there on track. I think the tarmac should have been melting at that point.
I have never seen 59, and I do oval racing at Texas. That's mind blowing. 59 Celsius, 138 Fahrenheit.
It's hot out there.
Anyone got the eggs?
Oh, yeah. It's cooking it. Just cook it on the start finish straight. How about that?
Love it.
I mean, there's enough space for it.
Loads of space.
What's this camera? Unfortunately, we do not have track cams well, we do have them for the cars. We don't have them for track. So we're kind of having to make do. Oh, spark plugs and some stuff. Matsumi Japan tires, I think.
Also, can I just put one other point here? In the thumbnail, you might have seen it as well. The Gran Turismo logo. Fun fact about this: Gran Turismo does have an official logo at this track, and iRacing put it in. And as a kind gesture, Polyphony decided that they would put the iRacing logo somewhere in Gran Turismo Sport, just as a kind gesture.
They put it on Le Mans, didn't they?
I can't remember. We had this talk before, and I could not remember.
90% sure the talk was that where it was put. I think we both discovered it was put in Le Mans or something.
Yeah.
Instead of PlayStation or something.
Yeah.
Or Forza, or I think one of the two of them. But you can just see that we do have qualifying over and done with, but I have no results.
Well, I can quickly run over them. Wow, I can quickly run over them. In the Radicals, they got Ross Brownfield with a 51. These results don't matter too much. When we get to the Mazdas, they'll matter a bit more. You'll see in a minute. Ross Brownfield was faster than quality with a 51.692. Eric Smith a 51.884. Gavin Barber a 52.493. Sean Brown a 53.438. Ernie Ludwig a 53.690. Javier Perez Torres a 55.392. Like I said, those times don't really care too much because the Radicals are going to be waiting in the pits for 18 minutes 28 seconds and 19 minutes 43 seconds, depending on their category. One TCRs a day. Robert Gambill, 1 minute 1 second, .352. He will be waiting 4 minutes 21 seconds before he can come out. And then the Mazdas. Everybody's going at the same time. So pole position technically. Jack Weddle, 103.650. Trevor Vavosky, 103.698. John Lang, 103.741. Murphy Nichols, 103.769. Nick Kuhn, 103.981. Wayne Hutchinson, 104.107. Robert Covey, a 104.364. Jason Lockridge, a 104.697. And Ian Erasmus, not setting a time, but I believe he is out there. He is.
Just looking at it now, it's almost as if like this is just you just see the poor little masters just sat there in their own little thing. I don't think they want to get hit too hard, but I mean, I'm more worried for the slow entry of the TCR in this race for Robert Gamble. He really is going to have to grin and bear his teeth because he'll be the only one out there, so he'll be guaranteed pole and the win. But make it to the end first. Gotta make it to the end. But as you said, we did have that rundown. Mazdas will be first. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the Major Series. Welcome to the Majors Predator Series. At this, we have 3 classes: the Mazdas, the TCRs, and the SR8s, the Radicals. Essentially, the Radicals and the Mazdas, the Radicals and the Audis start in the pits. They then have a timed penalty for which they stay in that pits. And then they are let out and let free. And now we do have a few professional, I think. We have do we have any professional Mazdas?
Cannot remember. But they're all out together. We'll wait and see. Of course, this is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. I've got the stopwatch ready so I can keep my eyes on the timer. We'll be updating you as they go around. The start of the race is going to happen now, and they're green. Jack Weddle leads them away. He's got John Lang right behind him, and it's going to be a tight braking into the first corner. You can see Weddle's gone a little bit wide here. John Lang will try and take that out of turn 1. He gets it around the inside. Meanwhile, just behind, there's just a little bit of moving. Wayne Hutchins has not had a good start. And just keeping my eyes on there, you can just see that Travolsky is going on. He's trying to make that move around Weddle, and he makes that move around Weddle. And now they come under the Dunlop Bridge after the first half of a lap. This is a quick lap, by the way, folks, if you don't know Tsukuba.
I think we should have also said, what's the splits looking like? It's in, time splits for when the cars get released? I think we forgot to do that.
Yeah. I briefly glazed over it. 4 minutes, 21 seconds for the Audi TCR. 18 minutes 28 seconds for the Radical Sportsman drivers, and 19 minutes 43 for the Radical Pros. It's 90 laps. So you got to think to yourself, that's roughly 90 laps. You're looking at just over 90 minutes, and that's that is 20 laps almost around here that a Radical's got to make up. And you can see going around these twisted turns around, of course, that turn 2 into turn 3, they it into the hairpin, which is turn 4. You can just see there's not a lot of space to do multi-class overtaking, and I can't think of any series.
There's not a lot of space to do much.
No, I can't think of any multi-class series that's ever been here. And if there has been, somebody please let me know.
I mean, to be fair, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm looking at this right now and I'm thinking to myself, it's a very calm race. Then I saw the car of number 13, Robert Gamble, pop into the pits, and it's like, oh, I remember where we are now. I remember where we are now. It's going to be the test, I think, for the TCR. I mean, there's not a lot of lap difference. It's only about 10 seconds, so roughly they make up a lap every 6 laps on the Mazda. So it'll be interesting to see. Well, that's for the Radicals now.
Crazy when you think about a lap every 6 laps. I mean, normally when we look at a bigger racetrack, when we had Charlotte Roval, Silverstone, you're looking at making up 6 seconds a lap, and now we're talking about making up 6 seconds, like that many times per lap time. That is just nature. It's so weird around here. And in fact, as we've been doing this, we're already 2 minutes 45 into the race, give or take a couple of seconds. So you can just see how it's going to be really careful. And I just like how we did have the Missed Apex podcast boys at the front. It's John Lang on his own now. Jack Weddle's had a little bit of a bad start. One thing I wanted to break on it, Rob, is this is the first time we've seen Mazdas with flappy paddles. No longer is it a gear stick.
Yeah, it's a
These
sequential.
are flappy paddles. Yeah, sequential.
Yeah, that's actually the first time we've experienced with them. I think they do go a little bit faster, memory serves, but I'm also wondering why this wasn't done sooner. Because it gives a satisfying shift of also, I mean, like, you know, it's great. This is great. More of it, please.
Oh, Rossi just trying to go into the inside of turn 4 there, really set himself up with a great run around the outside of turn 1, takes the lead, and John Lang's now in a little bit of a sandwich here. He's got Jubavovsky in front of him, Murphy Nichols right behind him, and we're almost coming up to the TCR. But I was just saying, one of the things with the Mazdas, yeah, it would have been great to have that, like, earlier. But they've only become like officially in real world racing. You know, you still got some that use gears, H patterns, but they really became synchromesh late last year. This is the first full year where you've got them fully with the flappy paddles. I'm just keeping it down. It's 5 seconds until we see the TCR. 2 seconds, 1 second. The TCR is out. Robert Gamble is out, and he's gonna go down another lap. Just as he sees the 3 leaders of the Mazdas just in front of him. Just going, there we go, and he might get past one. Oh, he's going to struggle, actually.
Oh, well, I mean, like, he got them at a bad time as well. Like, they were really fast coming through that, doing 103s there from Jubavovsky, passing John Lang in front of him. And this will be the ball mark, and as you can just see, look how little space there is.
How little space there is, and look how big that TCR is. And remember from previous experience that we had around in the series that these TCRs, they've got to brake a little bit earlier than these Mazdas, and they don't have the pull away. So we did see some Mazdas hitting the TCRs earlier, but look at this down the straights. There goes Gamble, just like that, easy. You would not think, with how much time difference there is, that there's that much speed difference, but no, those TCRs, which are a handle to drive, fun to drive, he's going to have to take a couple laps to get around the whole of this Mazda field. And he's going to do it again, what? 3 times? 4 times? Yeah, 4 times. So, good luck, I say.
I would say, oh my dear lord. And he's also not really getting around him in a sporty way. I would have expected a bit more of the sprite, but, you know, swings around a bit.
One of those things as well, especially with the TCR, just needing to hit the brakes. You know, a lot of the time some people prefer braking with almost full pressure on these brakes with the TCR. You've got to make sure, some drivers as well, they like to slide the back in. I mean, this is perfect track then for a TCR driver if you like to slide the back, the Formula D track. So it's great practice for some of these guys, but he might get both of them here. That is an Audi RS3 LMS TCR. Just going around there. So he's now going to be working his way around again and again. You can see he finally gets his first lap in. So 102.609, because he was held up behind the Mazda, because you can't really do anything until you get to that back straight. I mean, where else are you going to make an overtake here? Turn 4, maybe turn 8, and down the back straight. That's probably your only places you're going to make overtakes if you're a Mazda. Faster class trying to overtake.
Oh, crikey, I just had a blip of the interwebs there. Oh, we're all good. We're good. I was wondering what was happening there. Then it just went, oop. You there, Craig?
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
No, I was just wondering because I was just like, no, I just saw it on the meter there, and I was just like, oh no, what happened to me? What's happening to me? How could this happen to me? So, lap 6 now of 90. He has to make up 3 laps. I'm actually very surprised that the TCR hasn't actually pulled away. Like, it's actually quite surprising on a small track like this that the TCR has not pulled away as fast as it should, or as I thought it should.
It's a tough one as well, because you think about it, where is he able to get the throttle down? You get the throttle out of turn 1, then he comes down here into turn 4. But then you've got arguably the toughest corner on the circuit, turn 5. I've always got it wrong because I never know how much runoff you can get down to turn 6. So he's finally building speed. But then as he builds speed, straight back on the brakes again into turn 8. And it's just like, you want to pull away and then you just don't have the ability to because you run out of tarmac. You have to come into a braking zone. And now, finally, full throttle. You can't really rest because you come down to turn 9 and it's like, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. And that's it. And one of the things I love about Tsukuba is this runoff on the start-finish line. Look how wide you can go. It's fantastic. I really love that.
It's the stop cars from, just sending it off, essentially just trying to, keep the cars on the track more than anything else. And I'm seeing a few more of the big mean red machines coming back into play. That is the mean machines of the Radical SR8s. Are they due out? When are they due out, actually?
Well, they are due out. The first one's the Sportsman out 1828, currently 9:10 or 9:12. I think my clock's a second slower. So we've got another 10 minutes of Mazdas and a TCR, which is fantastic because, Robert Gamble's had to go through 3 Mazdas. What can he do when he's got to go around 9 Mazdas? And to be fair, they're all bunched up. When you think about it, there is a small gap between the top 4 and the rest, top 3, sorry, and the rest. But when you think about it, there's no real gaps, is there? When you do multi-class racing and you're the faster class, you look about it and you think to yourself, right, I can overtake that car and there's a gap there, that's fine, but I can't overtake those 2 because there's no gap. And it's hard to think about this. So there's a couple gaps, but it is just so hard to find the right position right now, especially in a TCR. When it's the Radicals, no offense to the drivers, when it's the Radicals, all hell's going to break loose when it comes to overtaking these Mazdas.
And another thing as well, though, just look at the lap time difference between the TCR and the head Mazda. The head TCR, or the only TCR in this case, his fastest lap is a 101.526. The fastest lap from Mazda is a 103.73, it's actually a 103.541. So literally only 2 seconds and some change of difference between the two of them, and yeah, that's going to be a struggle, I think.
But remember, it's 90 laps, so it all just depends how long it takes. He's only 10 seconds ahead. I think I've already had a moment there from him. I just remembered he was just taking a hairpin, so my relative just went a little bit skewy whip, as they say down here, a little bit off center and off tilter, but doing okay. John Lang is just, I wouldn't say he's really trying to find a spot to go and make an overtake, because you can't. This is a momentum track, and one mistake and then you're looking at losing a position or 2. So John Lang really just waiting really for Vavosky to either make a bad move or there John Lang, he just went in a bit too hard there on to turn 8, and you can just see the situation there that, well, now he's had to, all that work that he tried to do is just nowhere to go, and you can just see Murphy Nichols in the back there just thinking, yeah, I'm happy here. I'm happy here. I'll just stay back here for a bit. Jack Weddle's not threatening me at the moment. You two can just battle it out. I'll wait until it gets a little bit juicy. We're 12 minutes into the race. We're on lap 12. Well, that sounds a bit familiar. We're starting lap 12.
We're on lap 12, and they release I think it was on last time, it was release the SR8s from memory serves.
Yeah, no, like I said, we've got 6 minutes remaining, so 6 laps.
Yeah, it's the biggest make the difference. 6 laps, yeah. So they really, I mean, they'll be driving. Realistically speaking, so with Wayne looking at the top of his car, looking towards Robert Covey. I mean, it's all nice and tame right now. It's all like, yeah, we're just getting used to it, We're trying this thing out, but I guarantee you, as soon as the SR8s come out, As soon as the asteroids come out, it's gonna be a war zone out there.
Whoa, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm glad I'm not a driver. I mean, we had this circle when we had the schedule. We circled this. Like, hang on, Tsukuba? Like, we love it, but I couldn't think of any multi-class, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. I remember you were saying, hyping up earlier in the week, this is going to be chaos. I don't know what to expect. Why, do these radicals have to break at the same point? You know, how much throttle do they take off when it comes to, you know, this corner you see Wayne Hutchinson at the moment, you know, what's going to happen? You know, they'll have to go around the outside of this corner, just gone, and then the hairpin, you know, can they dive it in after making that move? Then, oh, Wayne just making a touch. Just a little bit of a kiss. Just a little bit of a kiss. Ooh, yeah.
On with the grandstands here as they go by. I mean, I had to give the grandstands camera a try. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a little child.
It would have been better if you just put the neon noise right with it.
I mean, the TV cameras will still have the neon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. 4 minutes to go, by the way. With 4 minutes to go until the radicals come out. We've got the Mazdas out on track. What am I talking about? There are, you know, they are bunched up, but there is nothing at the moment that says, oh, there's going to be a move or anything. You know, Trevor Volsky has managed to pull away from John Lang. Top three are a little bit spread out right now, which is fine. Jack Weddle, he is under pressure from going another position down when you look at it. This lovely snake skin effect liver. Is it a tortoise shell or a snake skin for Nick Kuhn?
Let's have a look. It looks like a.
It is tortoise shell, isn't it?
It's hexagonal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tortoise shell.
Yeah. It looks like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but on a car. I mean, there's also the fact that he put a blue shell on the side of it. I think that might give it away somewhat. Look at it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I understand where it comes from now.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, there's a blue shell. You know what it is?
Yeah, I know that came from Super Mario, but I mean, like, I'm still gonna sing the song. Turtles in a pie shell, pizza power.
Right.
I mean, that was a good song. Don't deny me.
I'm not denying you. Not gonna deny you that. Don't you worry. Dear Lord. So I'm just, where has Robert Gambu got to? Well, he managed to pull away from the Mazdas. He's now in the middle of the front of the Mazdas and the back of the Mazdas. So in the last, he's done 12 laps so far, and he's still 3 laps behind, and he's only pulled 20 seconds ahead. Which, yeah, I'm thinking about that. 20 seconds isn't a lot, and then I realised, well, that is technically a third of the lap. So taking him 11 laps to do a third, you know, to get a third around. So what were you saying? 6 laps to overtake them? Were you saying? Or I think you might be a bit off there.
Okay, I'll concede. I'll concede I was incorrect.
But we don't expect him to catch up to them right away. Remember, with the handicaps, it is designed that all these cars, in theory, should cross the line at the same time. And it all just comes down to drive.
That was exactly. That would be the reigning theory as they cross lap 16 into 17. So 16 laps completed, 19 laps in total. What is the current time left? Because I just saw
1 minute. 1 minute. Sorry, 1 minute until the Radical Sportsman drivers come out and play. And
I can already hear it in my head. It's just welcome to the jungle, because this track really is like it's the perfect size for just sheer chaos.
You've been waiting for this, haven't you? You've been licking
Yes.
your lips.
Yes, I have.
You've had it, yeah.
Yes, I have.
Right, so we're coming close to 30 seconds. Here we go, 30 seconds. You can't see because we have the lap timer on the top, which I think is better than having the time remaining. I think it's better to have the laps on, so that's fantastic. You can't see it, but we're hitting up now to 20 seconds.
We go back, go look back.
Oh,
I've been busy. I've been busy. Yeah.
You've been busy. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the sportsman drivers. And here comes Gavin Barber and Sean Brown and Javier Perez Torres. 3 of the 6 radical drivers are sportsmen. And look where they are. They're in a great position when it comes to, where they are in terms of track. And they're just now going to, oh God, look at them straight away. Gavin Barber's going to have to get around Wayne Hutchinson and then Robert Covey. And he can't do it into turn 6. He has to wait and finally gets around. And he is able to somewhat bookmark himself. And with Sean Brown there, right there. And very shortly, Rob, and when I say very shortly, we've got less than 40 seconds, almost 30 seconds, until the other radical drivers turn up.
And time is still up. They've only got 1 lap of a reprieve. That is mischief there from Sean Brown, as he and Gavin Barber complete a lap with Javier Perez Torres just a little bit behind. And
you ready?
Oh dear.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody out on track. Here we go. Here comes the rest of them. Ross Banfield, Eric Smith, and Ernie Ludwig is... Ernie?
Uh-oh. Did he...
Also...
Did he...
Yeah.
Oh, no. If he got up to use the bathroom at the wrong time, he's going to be kicking himself.
Not what you want to see right now, but the others are out. That's Ross Banfield and Eric Smith. And Banfield's just taking a move out there. So everybody's out. Officially 17 laps. And in fact, the Radicals, the Sport Pro Radicals got a little bit lucky there because they were able to get out without going a lap down. I think they did go a lap down. Yes, they did. In fact, Barber and Brown are the only 2 Radicals who are 16 laps down. As you can see, Javier Perez Torres 17, he's about to just unlap himself as he is. So they're all making their way around, and I'm scared. I am scared every time we see it. By the way, did I see a Mazda that went into the pit? I did.
Yeah,
Hit
you did.
Hutchinson.
Yeah, and Nick Kern also went into the pits as well.
This is an early fuel stop.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, a bit early for that, isn't it?
Yeah. Really am confused at why it's happened now, but that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. By the way, these Mazdas, they will take a tire because it actually does not waste time to take 1 tire.
1.
I know. So they'll go up on the jacks for 1 tire, which actually does help when you think, especially with some of these corners. That will help them a little bit with grip later on. So I can't blame them too much for that. As much as I'd like to. And you can just see the purple lap time was Gavin Barber last lap of 52.590. Managed to get a lot of space away from everybody, and he might put in another fast lap.
That was Eric Smith hitting into the back of one of the Miss Apex guys.
And that's Javier Perez just making a mistake as well. What happened with Eric Smith?
I think he just had a bad moment coming into the 180, the first 180, or the second 180 anyway. And
it was a late move. Yeah. Oh no, he lost it. Lost control, and fortunately, as you'll see on the, just unfortunate what happened. So the Radicals are out and about. Going at some breakneck speed at the moment. I'm just trying to find. You're not going to find a lot of battles per se. It's all about the first car to go, but that's Wayne Hutchinson off. Wayne Hutchinson just going off there and touching the wall. he lost the car braking. That was not fun to watch. Brakes said no for Wayne Hutchinson on that replay, and he's in danger of going a lap down to the Mazdas.
And he's got a lot of damage on that front left as well, so he has to be careful about that.
Now, he hasn't taken his fast repair. They do get one fast repair in this series, so hasn't taken a fast repair. Can take it if he wants to, and it looks like he is going to take it. Yeah, here he goes with his pit lane. I've never seen a pit stop at Tsukuba. This is so weird.
Wait, what?
Never seen a pit stop at Tsukuba.
Oh, well, welcome to Tsukuba then.
Yeah, well, welcome to Tsukuba. It feels like an IndyCar or a NASCAR style pit lane, really. But with how it is with track days here, I can kind of understand why with time trials. So he'll go in, he'll go pop, and then actually he's taking some more tires because I think he may have forgot to untick them.
Well, I mean, he's at the back, so if he takes all of them, he can probably have a better chance of actually lapping a good bit quicker, and also he doesn't have to take tires in the future. Strategy. Good up. Well, actually, no way. You get a free tire change. So, don't listen to me, Hutchinson. Don't listen to me.
Does anyone ever listen to you?
Oh wow. Okay.
So we have got one battle still going. Jack Weddle, with all the pit stops that's been happening, Jack Weddle has put himself back up into P2. Right behind him is Murphy Nichols. There goes some radicals just going by as well, but Weddle is trying to pull away from Nichols and is able to at the moment. The gap is 1.4 seconds, but it shrinks and expands at the moment. And I think Robert Campbell, where is he at the moment? He's just had an off. I thought something was wrong. In fact, he's been hit from behind from Javier Perez Torres. Now, what's happened there? That Torres just trying to get in. Just a bit of a racing incident there as Torres hits that move, and he's gone to the back of the radical field because of it.
The radical of Banfield, he had to stop on a dime. I think it was Banfield anyway. No, it wasn't. It was the three radicals.
Banfield, Smith, and Perez. Torres, sorry.
Yeah,
Perez,
Torres, sorry.
Oh. So we've got Banfield and Smith having a little bit of a battle now, and I'm just watching Banfield. Maybe because it's 59 Celsius out there, but the back of that radical does not look very happy. He's sliding that around on Ross Banfield.
I'm pretty sure it is the temperature. I'm pretty sure.
I was preparing for a certain endurance race last week that we will not talk about, and of course the temperatures we were looking at about 51 Celsius at its hottest point, and you drive a downforce car, and you think to yourself, well, what do I do? How do I do this? Because you understand when it comes to hot tracks that you have to change your driving style. So it's like, how do I change my driving style? So I got some top drivers that I know to help me out. It's interesting for those that are unaware. Really, yes, you've got to change your driving style, and we're not just talking braking a bit earlier, especially when you come. 59 Celsius. We're talking about you've got to change your braking style a lot around here, but it's not that easy because at this temperature, there's no grip whatsoever. So you've got to start thinking about what do you do with no grip. Well, that means you've got to drive smoother. And of course, I know it sounds a bit funny in a Mazda. It's a boat at sometimes. We know how fun it is with the Mazda, but you have to take your time. You have to start thinking to yourself, I've got to brake a little bit early, and then I've got to turn in smoother, and I've got to be careful on the throttle. You've just got to wait, and that's what's going on. That's what you've got to do with Nick Kuhn and John Lang here. Oof. Just Sean Brown just in the middle going, I'll go by through the middle, no problem. As Nick and John continue in their 8th and 7th respectively, continue to go around. They're at the back of the Mazda field, but remember, they have taken pit stops, so that would be another one of the reasons. And that pit stop put them 40 seconds behind Trevor Bavoski at the front of the Mazda field. So that just gives you an idea, just how much you're losing on a pit stop around here with that interesting pit lane. So they continue to go around. I love that Dunlop Bridge, which we're just going to keep our eyes elsewhere, seeing everything going on at the moment. But this is the closest battle is at them. This is the closest battle. We'll keep eyes elsewhere. There's some nice gaggles up ahead, but it's lapped cars, people trying to unlap themselves as well. But you've got these two battling as well. And, just as you see those two go by, you just got the two Mazdas in front as well, Smith and Banfield. But these Mazdas, they're just so fun to watch. You throw the car in, and they're just fantastic to watch. And I just love it. I just love watching these cars. And the Radsmith did have a little bit of a moment there going off. He may lose time there. Is he going to get caught up by Lang? No. I mean, normally on a racetrack, under a second, if you're a second, you're in that slipstream range. That's why, you got DRS in Formula One. Yeah, second around here doesn't really help. You've got to be a little bit closer. And now Lang is like coming up to half a second. That's when you start to think, yeah, now I can get closer. Now I can get closer. And now you can start thinking, not let's do a overtake using slipstream, because this track is not going to give you any slipstream personality or any chance. So dirty air for Lang now. Dirty air, of course, for Nick behind him as they try and go around him. There is an apex there, and you think you want to take that apex early, but in these cars, you just got to wait for that last moment there, and another Radical goes by them. So we are at lap 28. In fact, they're going to go too wide. They're going to go too wide into the hairpin. Are they? No, the missed apex boys give themselves a lot of respect, but it looks like Lang's going to try and make the move around the outside. And does so. Erasmus is going to try and battle that, but nowhere to go. Now he's going to be in a battle with Nick Kuhn right behind him. It's not going to be good there. That was a nice little move from Lang. I think that was almost given to him, but he had to make that move. He wanted to catch up and manages to hold on. And now really just the question is, don't lose it. You've done all the work, John. Just don't lose it into turn 8. Elsewhere at the front, of course, we've got Jack Weddle holding on with Murphy Nichols that you just saw earlier there. That gap's about the same. Like to keep our eyes on this as well. It's just so close. You're not missing anything in the Radical. Well, I say that Gavin Barber has got a little bit of damage to the back of that car. Not sure what happened to him. Did he just get rear-ended by a fellow Radical? I think Sean Brown might have tapped him with some late braking. He did indeed. So no wing damage there to Gavin Barber, as the leader of the Radicals is also under threat. But keep our eyes on the Mazdas. Of course, this free car battle very crucial. That almost looked like a touch there at the back, but I think he's going to be okay for the moment. Now, Robert Gambill. We haven't talked a lot about Robert Gambill. How is he doing? Well, he's almost going up the order. He is just a couple cars away from going 2 laps down. That just shows you how long it really is for these Audis to just get around this track. And oh boy, that is a big gaggles you just saw there on the screen as well. Those 3 Radicals and the Mazdas just going around. It is not very pleasant. Banfield Smith just holding on as well. There is Robert Gamble, as we were just talking about there. He's going to be trying to make his way. If he makes this move, he's going to make it. Now he's 10 seconds behind Vavoski. That's right. That's how big the gap is between Vavoski and Weddle at the moment. It is 10 seconds. Almost 11 seconds. No, it is actually 10 looking at it. So he's got a little bit of time before he gets there. When you think that their lap times are like 2, 3, anything between 1 and 3 seconds. So it's going to take him 3 laps, and that'll only make him 2 laps down. Meanwhile, these lead Radicals are 14 laps down, and they've got it all to play for. So you can see Ross Banfield there. He is battling Eric Smith. They've been battling each other for a long time. And of course, officially they are a lap down on their class. A slide from Banfield. That high temperature really paying issues at the moment. Can Smith make a move now? See, this track is just that section is not the best when it comes to overtaking. It is such a tough section to go for overtaking when you realize you've got that little S turn 2 into turn 3. You're braking in turn 3 to do the hairpin at 4. So you have to be side by side if you want to look at making a move around there. These two cars just continue to battle and go around. And every time I see Ross Banfield put the throttle down, he just slides. He just slides, and it's so hard to watch. So, well, I wouldn't say to watch, it's just so hard to see. And by the way, Ernie Ludwig has come out. He is out. Unfortunately, he's 8 laps behind. But he's out there. So obviously, I think what Rob was saying might have been a little bit of a, may have been caught up by something else. But great to see him out there. Ross Banfield then is going to keep battling with Eric Smith. You have to go around the outside. Is that a bookmark there from Smith? I think he just managed to pin. I think Banfield was able to pin Smith there for a moment, as that just opens the gap again. What can Smith do? He's waiting for that moment because Banfield is sliding when he comes out of throttle. When he comes out of throttle there, he's just waiting, but there's nowhere for Smith to go, and that was a great opportunity, but was unable to. And now with a couple laps cars up ahead, oh, Banfield's made a mistake. Banfield's made a mistake there on the exit. Smith is going to come in there. If there's nowhere for Banfield to go because he's going to get pinched by this Mazda. In fact, they're going to go around both sides. Eric Smith finally gets past Banfield as they go around Jack Weddle. Think of a corner version of Hackett and Schumacher at Spa. That's kind of what just happened there. And they've got huge traffic to work around now. That's 2 Radicals and a TCR. That's Barbara Brown with Gamble. As the Radicals in front are now battling. Hey. You just cannot look. We were thinking chaos around trying to get around the classes. At the moment, the chaos is battling for positions in your own class at the moment. You can just see that down the straight. Just look at everybody down the straight in the moment. And that's the back straight, almost the only straight when you think about it. Pure chaos. Let's be brutally honest, we're not expecting like big accidents, that's what we're not saying, but you can just see with how they're having to make these moves. We've seen drivers having to take different lines and ways around with the downforce, and we've seen drivers probably using those slower cars just to make a pick move, just to see if they can do anything to help them. But it is so tough at the moment around here when you just see the gaps we're talking about here. There's like half a second between a car battling another car in the same class, and then you've got to look for that same gap when you're looking elsewhere on the other cars. So it is so tough. One good thing with these Radicals is they've got the time and the space to get there, get to a corner, brake, and able to go around a Mazda before anything happens. Fastest lap, by the way, of the lap went to Eric Smith last lap with a 50.949. Oh, by the way, that's why he's also battling Ross Banfield and also has the leaders in front of him. And, oh, he's almost got into the back of Smith, and he has! Chaos! Kunz in the wall! I think that was also John Brown in the wall. It was! Just couldn't get the car settled, and oh, not what you want to see.
Just have a replay of that, and you can just see, oh, no, into the wall he goes.
Totally accidental. You could just see. You can see what Smith was trying to do. He was trying to keep that speed up, keep it going, but unfortunately, he was unable to just read the situation and slow down in time. There is damage to the back of that car by Brown. There is wing damage, and he is slide. He just had a slide. So tough unless you look at a cockpit to see if the slide is caused by steering damage or if the slide is caused by the lack of grip on this track. And I think it might be the former. Yeah, it's the lack of grip on the track. There's no steering issues at the moment for Brown, so he can breathe a sigh of relief for the moment.
it is literally ticking down the laps right now. It's like it just I don't know. It's the anticipation that, and at some stage, these radicals are going to catch back up.
And it's just crazy when you think, what, they're doing 51s, 52s, and the Mazdas are doing 104s, 103s, 104s, so 10-second difference. Well, a lap is that. So you look, every 6 laps, as you were saying earlier, every 6 laps will be a lap caught back by the likes of Barber and Brown at the front of the Radical field. And just remember, Barber also had a little bit of damage to the rear of his car as well from Sean Brown. So the leaders are both carrying a little bit of damage. Of course, Brown is carrying more. I'm just curious, as he continues to slide, is that damage hindering him? No. There's nowhere for a wing to make any effect around here. So what's the gap between them? The gap's 2.6 seconds. You can see on the timing tower. Yeah, Brown just put in a 52.1 when Barber put in a 52.7. So we're going places right now.
I love how we just have to start it with
Sorry, I can't get enough of the sound of this Audi. Isn't it fantastic? Listen to that car. Beautiful. I could listen to an Audi. I could drive an Audi. I've given the Audi a go. It's not my strongest suit, but it's a car that if you just want to throw something around, it's a fantastic car. The Touring Cars Championship on iRacing, a fantastic series to have. And then you've got the Interpilot series where these cars are also about. Just great to see. And you can see Robert Gamble, he is slowly making his way around. Like I said, he is 2 laps behind now. It's going to take time. His only saving grace is that TCR does not need to pit. The Mazdas and the Radicals have to pit. But the TCR, you can just go around and around. What do they say about an Audi Vortsborn Deutsche Technik?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. My German, as you can see, is
nil.
Said it's good. Did I even say that right? So, I'm just keeping eyes. Look at that. There's not a lot happening at the moment when we come to the racing because the gaps are so wide at the moment. And we know that we've just had those battles. Well, in fact, I say there's not much happening. Traffic has caused Sean Brown to catch up to Gavin Barber. This is a very crucial moment in the race. They almost went 3 wide down the back straight as Robert Gamble pulled out. Can the damaged car of Sean Brown catch up to Gavin Barber? He's unable to at the moment. The Mazda takes around the outside, and finally Barber is able to hold on. Traffic is something I never thought I'd be talking about at Tsukuba, but here we are. It's 59 Celsius. You've got 3 classes out there, and traffic is really hampering. In fact, Barber did a 54.6. That is what you deal with traffic around here at the moment. So that just gives you an idea.
I mean, this is me. Brown is blinking a hell of a lot. He just blinked there for me.
I've got no issues on my end, but yeah, I've got no issues at the moment. Oh, remember Eric Smith? Remember how we were talking about how he went purple? He's gone purple again. 50.815, and he's right on the back of Javier Perez Torres right now, and that's a P3 in the class as well. So can he continue this blistering pace that he's had? And it really is blistering. In fact, I might just answer my question as Torres goes a little bit wide out of the out of that corner. He gets a little bit pinched by the Mazda there, Jack Weddle. He's just going to take that position. Smith is up to P3. And he's only 37 seconds behind Gavin Barber. So he could do it. He could catch back. You just never know. You think that, Eric Smith was a pro and he started a minute 20 behind. And in that short time, he's gained practically 50 seconds. That's impressive. Just on a track this small, that's impressive.
It was impressive that these guys can still go around doing 52s. I think 52s, 51s. It's scary how quickly they're going around right now. And how quickly the laps are getting things.
Do you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I think I'm going to pull out an Audi R18 and just see how fast I can take it around here.
That's just...
Yeah. Great fun. Come on. I can't remember who did it, but somebody I know during a downtime decided one day I'm going to take an Audi R18 or a Porsche 919 around these small tracks and layouts that I've never done. So, like the club layout of Road Atlanta, the moto layout of Daytona. I don't think they took it around Tsukuba. I'd love to see an LMP, even a Formula One car go around here, just to see how fast it can go. So we're almost at the halfway stage. In fact, I'm just looking. I think we're officially at the halfway stage. Well, laps-wise, we're not. Time-wise, we are. At the moment, with Ross Banfield battling Torres. It's a little bit of a struggle now between the two. And is that another mistake from Torres? It is. They're going to go side by side into this next corner. This is a bit treacherous. And in fact, Torres decides it's not worth my time. Like I said, turn 5 is the hardest corner on the track. I know that sounds weird. But, you'd be like, but Craig, it's a right-hander. But it's almost 90 degrees. So what's harder? Ross Banfield having to make two split decisions there and getting it right. Torres loses time. Yeah, what's wrong with a 90-degree right-hander? Why is that the toughest corner on the track? It's a narrow track. Everything is hairpins. That is the toughest corner. It's the corner that I know I lose a lot of time on when it comes to racing around here. And I'm not the only one. So that turn 5, I don't know about you, Rob. I would call that the hardest corner on the track.
I called all of them the hardest corner on the track, especially when you're racing in the multi-class like this. Where you're trying to race to the end, essentially. Like it's
patience.
It's patience is the better one.
But it is though, isn't it? It's one thing. We both come from an endurance background. So it's one thing to do a track for 6, 12, 24 hours and then you're doing 2, 3, 4 hour stints. It's one thing to do that repetitively. But so when you realize that then you're having to do this for 90 minutes on a track that is less than a minute, minute long, that takes some doing. In fact, the closest I can think about it, Rob, is IMSA this week at Kansas Roval, which is 3 braking zones, 5 corners in the infield. And you're doing that for 45 minutes. And that's a test of patience. So if that's a test of patience in multi-cross, what's this? This is like the ultimate test of patience. So, just keeping eyes elsewhere. Robert Gamble has made his way through the middle of the Mazda field. So he's almost going to go 2 laps, a lap down. That is crucial for him. We continue to see the Mazda, the 777 Ross Banfield. Lucky Sevens haven't worked out for him at the moment. He's 36 seconds behind Gavin Barber, as Barber's continuing to battle Sean Brown. While they're doing 53s, 52s, you've got behind them Eric Smith, who's just throwing in 51 after 51. In fact, he's crossing the line right now. I'll let you know what that last lap time was. Oh, a 50.72, as he now comes up to traffic. So now he's really held up. He's really held up. And Ross Bamford's coming in. That was the fastest lap, by the way, that 50.72. Why is Eric Smith held up? He's held up by a gaggle of 3 Mazdas. Jason Lottridge, Ian Erasmus, and Nick Kuhn. All 3 of them. And of course, I think Nick, he did have a pit stop earlier. Jason and Ian have not taken pit stops, but they're all battling at the moment. In fact, there's a second, about 1.2 seconds between the 3 of them. Not only are they battling, but then when you get the likes of, well, here's Ross Bamford right behind, you've got to wait and take your time a little bit with these, and just got to make sure you make the right move. And thankfully, he did that straight, so he can just go down. And already at the bottom of the straight, he's a second and a half. He's 2 seconds. He's almost 3 seconds now. He started that back straight about a second behind Jason Lottridge. He comes across the start-finish line 3 seconds ahead of Jason Lottridge. That just gives you an idea of the speed difference.
Doing the math, I think, given the current gap, it's actually kind of hard to... It's going to be hard. It's going to be close.
Well, I would love to make a prediction that we might see a TCR win, but I think it might go down to the Radicals. And I got to be honest, Eric Smith is just absolutely flying right now. I can't think of anybody doing lap times like he is at the moment. I think he's the only one who's dipped into the 50s. I'll have to double check that when I look at Ross Banfield. And Ross Banfield and Torres, neither of them have dropped into the 50s. I know Barber and Brown haven't dropped in. That's not a knock at those two. They're continuing to battle, by the way, and they're having some really fun battling. I think it is just the case of Brown just realizes, I just have to wait for a mistake. And that's a really fun battle to keep looking at. So I think it will be a Radical if it's going to be close. I'd love it to be a TCR, but it's not going to happen. But the Raidillon guesstimating system is saying it's going to be close. And if it's anything like the, I don't know if you saw the images they brought up today. Yeah, I think it's going to be like Sean Brown is putting 99.7% into acceleration with his but he's only putting 93% into his cornering. I don't know if you saw that. I'm not being serious. I don't know if you saw that earlier today, Rob.
What did I see earlier today?
AWS had a comparison between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen on how much of their ability, how much they could put in, and they were both like, they were putting 99.7% of their ability into their throttling, into their throttle control, and 99.6% into braking, and then it was like 95.7% for cornering for Lewis and 98% for Max. It was like trying to say, well, this is where Lewis is losing it. He's not confident enough on the cornering. It's like, what? How do you know this?
Yeah, the second that happens that they have 102% or something is the day that everybody's just like, oh you AWS.
Really was. I think everybody was just absolutely surprised at just seeing that of all things. Like, okay, why do we need to see it? It makes no sense. If you want something to say that Lewis slow, Max fast, just put the times up. It shows it. The gap between them after the first run in the final qualifying was almost 0.4 of a second. Surely that's enough to say that Lewis just isn't fast enough. You don't need to then say he can't do a corner. The Jason Lottridge coming in. And I remembered, Rob, because I was saying it's got like an IndyCar, NASCAR style pit lane. It's got that, it's got an inroad that goes around the final corner. That is designed, I believe, for the time trials, because you know how a lot of time trials are hill climbs and everything, and they're standing starts. The time trial around here is a rolling start. You come out the pit, do one lap, and then you do your one lap for time trial. So obviously having such a pit lane like that eliminates anybody, so you can do quick fire time trials as fast as you can. Almost like if you're doing the one lap shootout in F1. As we watch the Mazdas go around the 808 of Ian Erasmus with Nick Kuhn in the 19 behind him. Of course, the Majors Series just finishing up last week. The Majors 2.4 of Le Mans, or Le Mans 2.4 if you'd like more of the Majors Series. MajorsSeries.com for more information about the league. And July 11th is the next big one. Sign-ups have started for the second round of wildcards. And if you'd like to know what's happening with the wildcards, it's the Mud Summer Festival. So you have your pick of the Chili Bowl, the World Rallycross of Norway, or the Crandom World Cup. 3 disciplines which are very alien to a lot of drivers. We're talking dirt oval, we're talking rallycross, and we're talking dirt. I was going to say dirt road racing, but dirt track racing. 3 tough disciplines, and of course, Raidillon TV will be providing the European sportsman split of the World Rallycross of Norway at Hell. And other information, of course, can be found on the Major Series website, MajorSeries.com, and their Discord for more information.
And as we get to see that, I think we will be doing the Rallycross version of it.
Which we have no knowledge of, apart from we've driven it.
I know these corners. Maybe.
I'm looking forward to it.
So am I.
It's one of those things. It's the feather in your cap as well, and that's one of the great things in the Major Series. It's not just, hey, pick a car and take that car around 12 tracks. No, it's pick your race, and then also, you may have to pick your car when it comes to multi-class, but it is the fact of you've got to try and will your hand at everything. So far, we've seen the Daytona 2.4. We have seen, with like IMSA cars. We've seen the Daytona 500 with the 87 NASCARs. We've seen the F3 World Cup, with the F3 cars. We've seen IndyCar. We've gone to the Nordschleife with with the slower GT cars. So really, you get your hand at everything. And last week, the Le Mans 2.4. No, it wasn't WEC or Le Mans style cars. It was the old style with the GT1s, the HPD. So you've really got to know your stuff and just be able to just drive whatever you can, or drive what you feel comfortable and pick up with it. It's a great series just for that, and I just encourage anybody to give it a go. And I encourage people to give this a go, because when we are done with this, our next race in the Predator series, I believe. Now, I did have this. It's Watkins Glen. We've got 2 races after this. Watkins Glen followed by VIR, and I believe it's the Classic Boot, so there'll be no chicane, Rob. If it's Classic Boot, there'll be no chicane at Watkins, and I think that might make you cheer. I think you don't like the bus stop. I prefer the bus stop.
Bus stop, no.
Yeah, there you go.
No bus stop.
Rob doesn't like the bus stop.
No bus stop.
Bus stop.
Sans the bus stop, please.
I love the bus stop. Anyway, some of the Mazda drivers have done their pit stops now. Just keeping an eye out there. I think the only ones not to do it, Erasmus and Kova, the only ones not to take their pit stop yet. So Varosky has a 17-second lead over Jack Weddle. In fact, Weddle's gone all the way down to 4th position. John Langdon catching up with that. Well, is it an undercut when he pits 30 laps before everybody? Don't think so.
I think he might have to pit again.
Yeah. there's no there's nothing there. No pitting yet from the Radicals, of course. I do presume, unless they feel comfortable, that Sean Brown and Gavin Barber might be taking their quick repairs, but they might just get on with it and just not bother. But we'll wait and see. That gap, by the way, between Barber, Brown, and Smith gone down to 17.5 seconds. Eric Smith is just flying at them.
Well, he has to be flying because the only way that you can get to step in is, you know, if you're flying, fly fast.
If you're flying, fly fast. Oh, and what if you're a bird? You can't really fly fast if you're a bird. Well, I guess if you flap your wings harder, you do. But yeah, if you're flying, fly fast. You're driving at the moment. In fact, Smith overtakes Vavosky there, and that's him going up a lap again. So he'll be 8 laps behind. They've hit their halfway mark, by the way. They're on lap 46, coming up to lap 47. Vavosky, he's on lap 55, coming up to 56. So I think we might see that. We might see it, but with that gap Vavosky's got compared to the others, the gap is now 18 seconds. He might have this. We might have another Mazda driver winning the Predator Series race. And an update, by the way, on Gamble. He's almost getting back to the lead lap. He's just starting his way around, and he's going to be getting past Erasmus. I'm just looking at this. I think he's going to get on the lead lap quicker than I expected him to. He's going to be getting on it in another 5 laps. So Gamble going to be getting on that lead lap, and then it's a case of can he take the lead. It might be 5, might be 10 laps, but get the idea. That surprised me. I didn't think he'd get there that quick. So some good driving from Gamble, the sole Audi driver then, really working in his favor right now, the traffic as well. How's everyone doing in chat as well? Does anyone have any, who are they supporting today? Just give us a nice little shout out there as well if you'd like to see it. What's happened to Sean Brown? Has he had a spin? I thought he had a spin for a moment. Yeah, he did. In fact, the leaders have had a spin. The Radicals have had a spin. And is that Barber getting... Oh, massive net code there between Brown and Barber. Both of them going around. That's net code. Massive neck code between the two of them, and they are struggling. And I think how slow Brown is going, is he waiting for Barber? I think he is. I think Brown might be waiting for Barber.
That is so bad neck code.
It is, and there you go. Barber retakes the lead. Brown was not going to take that. He was not going to take that, and it might have brought Smith back into it earlier than planned. In fact, there you go. With that damage that just happened there, Smith is going to be taking the lead. You've got Barber in the pits now. Smith takes the lead of the Radicals because of it, and Brown's still out there. I mean, fair play to Brown. That's some great sportsmanship there to come back, but has cost him a little bit. But at the end of the day, the main goal is to get there first. You know, to get there. So still him with a chance.
He took us faster pair, and he's back out at it again. Did the Radicals have to take a pit stop?
Yes, only the TCRs that don't have the pit stop. So that'd be good. TCRs can just put their feet up and just you know, or you gas guzzlers. As we continue to keep our eyes around it is just one of those things that you think to yourself, well, you know, where's the battles? Well, there are loads of battles going around, but it's just a case of you're looking at a battle and it's just two cars battling each other close on the field. Really, we're not going to know what we're looking at when it comes down to like the last 10 minutes. Is when we'll finally start looking at who's where, who slots into what position. Because in the last 10 minutes, it is going to be a case of the Radicals will be a lap and a half, 2 laps behind where they should be. The TCR should be slowly working his way to the front in those final 10 minutes. So that is like the key moment of the race. We've still got Robert Covey battling John Lang. They're just battling for second and third at the moment. They're both 22 seconds behind Ravovsky. And remember, Covey does have to pit still, as does Ian Erasmus. And when they pit, that is going to put Covey around P5, P6. I would think P6 more than anything. But it gives you an idea of how much time they lose in the pits and really how short this track is.
I mean, it still gets me to the fact that, you know, it is literally 2 kilometers, yet still it never ceases to amaze me how short the laps go by. Like, Eric Smith, he's 7 laps behind Ravovsky, but that is closing down, and it's closing down fast.
I feel like we need to apologise to Ravovsky because he's not from Eastern Europe. He's from the northwest of America, and then we are putting an Eastern European flair on his name. I apologise, Trevor. We might be right, might be wrong, but apologise just for that. And it's nice just to see the spread of drivers around here. We've got some drivers, of course, from the birthplace of the majors. By the way, happy birthday, majors! They hit 100 races. In case you missed it last week, they hit their 100th race overall. Where a lot of the founding members were from the Northwest region. You've got some people from Europe. You've got some people from South Africa, of all places, and then we've got one person, an Aussie, that is Gavin Barber, who's just going around at the moment, who we just saw with that pit stop. So we have got almost all 4 corners of the globe represented in this race, which is great to see. Oh, I just realised. Remember I was saying the lap record was held by Noboru Taniguchi? He drives for Good Smile Racing.
He drives for what?
He drives for Good Smile Racing.
Yeah, that's a good smile, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what that means? Well, he did drive for Good Smile Racing. I don't know if he still does. No, he still does. So you know what that means, don't you?
Tell me.
Well, what is on the side of a Good Smile Racing car in the Super GT series?
Oh, crikey. Pass.
Your DHR brethren are going to hate you. It's the Miku. Good Smile is known as the Weeb car. I cannot believe you did not know that.
I didn't need to know that.
You should know that. Oh dear. But yeah, so a little bit of fun there. Right, Eric Smith in the pits, lead Radical driver. In the pit, Sean Brown still yet to pit. I wonder if he will take that quick repair, because he's throwing in great lap times with a damaged car, because the steering's not damaged, there's nothing rubbing against the tires, it's not an aero-dependent track where you need the top speed, so I guess he'll he won't take the quick repair. I'm not sure. Does Smith go up on the jackets by any chance? He does. So he'll take a quick go of tyres, and he's out in 36 seconds. I think tyres are a good choice when you're on a track that's 59 Celsius. I don't know about you.
Any tire that isn't going to explode is a good choice. 59 degrees, because at that point you might as well be driving on thin ice, because it's just the tires just get super loaded and then super hot, and then it's just sadness.
And I wanted to say, the temperature's not changed. I forgot that there is no time multiplier. It is fixed at midday. So it stayed at midday all race. There is no increase in temperature, no decrease, no cloud cover changing anything. It has been a constant 59 Celsius all race. Which I totally forgot iRacing could do that. So, left to pit is Ian Erasmus. Then it's Sean Brown, Ross Banfield, Javier Perez Torres, and Ernie Ludwig, all yet to pit. We do think the likes of John Lang, Nick Kuhn, and maybe Wayne Hutchinson might have to come back in again. But as the lead Mazda starts lap 65 of 90, we're coming down to the final half an hour. Well, the last 25 minutes almost. When you think about it like that. So 25 laps to go, 26 laps to go. If I could do maths.
Well, it also depends on how quickly, because TCR is going through the field right now. He's a lap down, but he's going through the field one more time. And SR8s are steaming through the field. Sean Brown and Ross Banfield trailblazing there, really, for the both of us. But they'll both have to pit again, I think. Or they'll have to pit full stop.
Yeah, that's what we believe as well. Gamble as well. He's got past John Lang. Every time he can get past John Lang, it's like, yeah, great, you got a chance. Then you got to remember that Mavosky is 26 seconds ahead of the rest of the Mazdas. So Robert's got up there. Fantastic. He's got to wait a couple of times. Now, is that Murphy Nichols in the pits? No, that's Murphy Nichols having a moment. What's happened to Murphy Nichols? Overcooks the final corner there. And he uses that runoff, but he uses the runoff and the grass. And more of the grass and the wool. So, unfortunately for Nichols, he went in, loses a couple positions, and he just sees coming up behind him now that big orange TCR.
That TCR really is having difficulty getting more. I genuinely thought it would have had a bit of a better leg up than it does right now. It's quite pedestrian. It's really, it's still 2 seconds faster than the rest of the Mazdas, but at the exact same time, I genuinely would have placed it like a lot further up the field than it is right now. That's just the way it is, really, I think, for these TCRs.
And it's going to struggle to get past the Mazda. It finally does it right at braking. So they're side by side, you know, and that was 0.8 of a second. So he made up just under a second on that straight, but that's all he had, and only then he only just made it. Finally, he's actually making positions on track. He's got one more Mazda that he can officially make a position on, which is Robert Covey. And he's still like 11 seconds behind Vavosky. I think that was right, wasn't it? It's no, I beg your pardon, it's 15 seconds. So it just gives you an idea of 15 seconds. We're looking at another 2 seconds a lap. We're looking at another 6-7 laps, maybe 8 laps until he does it, and that puts him on. That would put him back on the lead lap. That would put him with another 8 laps. Would put him 74, 75. That's going to be tough because then he has to go around again to start overtaking everybody. It's going to be tight. We may actually see a first-time TCR winner this season.
But will it be a TCR or will it be the Radicals? Because my boat is firmly parked at the Radicals being faster.
Well, they're now 6 laps. Sean Brown, well, he has to pit as his Ross Banfield. So really, you got to look at where Gavin Barber is. Gavin Barber's a little bit back down the field. He's 11 seconds behind those guys, those drivers. And you can just think to yourself, really, he's gone past the TCR. He's 6 laps down. He's got to get by. And we were talking 6 laps to unlap yourself. I think that's what we worked out earlier. So 6 of the 36. That doesn't work out. 6 of the 36. Yeah. Where did I get that number from? It's right, but I don't know where I just plucked that out. But sorry, I just confused myself with my own mental arithmetic. It's right, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But it's going to be tight. If that's the case, 6 laps to get a lap back. That is going to be a tight situation, a tight field, but he is going to get a lap back here, and that will put in 5 very shortly. He's 7 seconds behind Trevor Rosky. That'll put him 5 laps down, 5 6s, 30. And there you see, it's going to be nip and tuck for Gavin Barber. But with the lap times he's been throwing in, if he can find some clean air, he might just do it. Might is the key word. Curious to figure out where we're going to see Sean Brown and Ross Banfield pit. When do they pit? When do they go in? I mean, Sean Brown's got a lot of damage to that rear end. The front's alright though. Somehow that front's remained, and I don't remember what his helmet was, and I wish I never looked at his helmet. It's a crash test dummy with a tongue sticking out type helmet, so just to give people a little idea of what that looks like overall. Brown, of course, he's in a little battle with Ross Banfield. Of course, these guys, they both have to pit, so it's not too much of an issue. Gavin Barber getting by everybody as well. Like I said, these guys are now, as is Eric Smith, just overtakes Gavin Barber behind. They are all 5 laps behind. I was about to say 3 for some reason. For what I did. Robert Gamble still 14 seconds behind Varovsky. 14 seconds. Like, what do you do with 14 seconds? That is a long time. So he's gonna have to just hold on, and just keep putting the laps in. And he's been very consistent. I mean very consistent. A couple of times he's thrown in these 102.1s when he gets clean air, but a lot of it has been around this mid 102 mark. Again, a 102.486, lap 4, 102.669. So you just see he's hitting very consistent times. It's really helping him get around at the moment.
The amount of damage that I'm seeing on these guys, there's just little knocks on the cars. It is actually getting to the point where they're actually getting substantial. Looking at Sean Brown's having a oh, that's an accident. Oh, that's an accident.
Oh no!
I was about to say there's little knocks here and there. Here's a replay of that as they come into the third 180. That is that the Dunkin' Donuts? No, it's the pit box car. It's not Jason Lotward. Who is the other pit box car?
It's Murphy Nichols.
Murphy Nichols, yeah. He just caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. There was also Ross Banfield coming up on the inside looking to pass, so I
think that's what happened. And,
yeah.
It is something. not gonna single out single out person here because a lot of people do it. That is a almost textbook example of why you never be a gentleman when it comes to multi-class racing. You know, pulling to one side or slowing down, it does not help. And remember, when it comes to multi-class racing, a slower car has to be predictable and help facilitate the pass. I mean, yes, you can say you're helping facilitate the pass there, but if you're a driver that is going to do something that just pulls to one side and slows down or let them through, you're not being predictable. I think that was just a little bit of a mix-up with multi-class racing, just multi-class there. So, no fingers pointed whatsoever, but it is just one of those things, and it's one of my pet peeves, Rob. You know what I'm like when it comes to multi-class racing and blue flags. You know what I'm like.
You immediately just be like, what is going on here? Why is there so many cars on the track? I wanna go home. Because it's scary sometimes how much there can be in terms of incidents on the track, just simply because it's such a short track. The SR8s are pretty quick, and we just saw Horsemantle sliding through the second 180. Ooh, and that is a Doritos car.
Oh yes, it is the lovely Doritos Radical car, and it's got Mountain Dew on the wing as well. What more do you want, Rob? Mountain Dew, Doritos, a Saturday night, Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. What more do you want? Take the silence as please end my life, but okay.
Wait, what?
I said Mountain Dew, Doritos, Raidillon TV. What more do you want? And I was just met with silence. I was like, okay, nothing. That's fine. Good for me.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, you didn't have to go that far, did you?
No, you're probably right. I didn't have to go that far. I just know that every time I come up with something silly, you know what we're like. We come up with something silly, we just both look at each other like, did we say that? Right. As we see that's such a weird car. Though. It's a nice design, but it is also like such a weird design. Like Doritos. How many Dorito cars do we see nowadays? It's coming a bit popular. Maybe we just see all the Dorito cars when it comes to broadcasting. Who knows? But I know one thing for sure. Unfortunately, only Ludwig is still a few laps down. He's 14 laps down overall, but he's still in it. He's still battling on. So hats off to him. Radicals are 4 laps down. Robert Gamble is 3 seconds away from unlapping himself. I say 3 seconds. The gap is 3 seconds. Give it 2 more laps. He'll be there. Bosky leading the way, as you can see, almost a 30-second lead to the rest of the Mazda field. And he's about to lap Erasmus. So that will be 4 cars on the lead lap. And when you think to yourself, 4 cars, one of them's 53 seconds behind, the other 2 are 29 seconds behind, who they're not battling because the gap's a second and a half. So just shows you really just how they're all split. But like I said, the final 10 minutes, and we're coming up to about the final 15 minutes. This is where we'll start to see things. And just as I was saying, it's going to be a TCR. He's going to have to fight his way to get up through the rest of the Mazda field to see if he can get to the front. The Radicals are going to be battling tooth and nail. And of course, that question is, Banfield, Brown, when do they pit? Because Eric Smith's overtaken Sean Brown. And he's about to overtake Ross Banfield.
Ooh, very close. On the inside he goes, and a very well executed move from Eric Smith to take the lead of the SR8s. But This fight is not going to do them either of them good because they're still going to have to, well, essentially complete, unlap themselves another 4 times. And by the math, they can't. They'll be a lap down.
Yeah, that's what it's looking at the moment. You think Ravoski's on lap 77 of 90. And we've been looking about 5 laps, maybe. So yeah, they're going to be short when it comes to lap times here. These radicals might be short. So it really does come down to what can Gamble do, because this lap he's going to unlap himself and he's going to be on the lead lap. And it's going to be, what, 20 laps to work his way up. That's going to be tight, and Ross Bamford having a slide in front. Have a drink every time we said that tonight, because that has happened a lot of times. Can Gamble make it here in the second hairpin? No, he cannot. He's going to have to wait. And in fact, it might just be a case as well that Gamble's going to have to just wait until that back straight, or the only straight as I call it, as he's lost a little bit more time as Sean Brown makes his way through. Gamble needs this, and he needs to get it done this lap. Otherwise, he may lose out here. Rasmus is the only car behind him, so he's not going to worry about a radical. He should get the throttle down. Now comes that power of that Audi engine. He finally unlaps himself, and we are back to 5 cars on the lead lap. But one of them is a TCR, and the rest are Mazdas.
TCR is 58 seconds away from getting first place. He's got that gap down, and it's still going down, but I really don't think he's got it.
He's 58 seconds behind. There are,
12 laps remaining.
12 laps to go. He's going to be half a lap short, isn't he?
More than that, I think.
We'll wait and see. Radicals are now 3 laps behind. I don't think that's going to be enough. We'll wait and see. I don't think that's going to be enough for them. Like I said, they're 14 laps, 15 laps behind, but like I said, they're 3 laps down. That's going to be tough for the Radicals. Eric Smith is pushing. And in fact, really, last time we went to the Radicals, Eric Smith overtook Ross Banfield. Eric Smith is now 7 seconds ahead of Ross Banfield. The pace on this man is insane. 51.081 was his last lap. And he's had to go around traffic again, and it's just working. It's just flowing for him. It's a momentum track, of course, and I'd love to see what this man could do when it's not with a handicap, because he's really put the speed on today.
I mean, given the current pace of Vavorowski, who is from the East Coast, not of America, not the East Coast of mainland Europe, he is going to need very little in the ways of an extra push. I think he does have it. He just needs to keep going as he is, keep knocking them lap times in, and hope and pray that his tires don't go.
Can't see his tires going, but then again, how many of us can say that we've driven on a track temperature of 59 Celsius? I can't. I think the closest I've seen is 57, and that was oval, and that's totally different. That's a totally different discipline and does totally different things to the tires. I don't think I've ever driven. I've driven in 51. And I can tell you the tires did not like it whatsoever. But that was with a car that could go blistering speeds, had the downforce and the grip to just do anything. These are practically road cars, just fitted out with sports brakes, a roll cage, practically almost what you would get out of a Mazda, just made into a cheap racing car. So they don't have the grip, they don't have the ability to put the throttle down and just go blistering speeds, you know. So do they still eat tires? Maybe. I think you get to that limit where you get to 59 Celsius and it's like, anything's going to suffer here, as we were saying at the start of the race. Put an 8 down on the track right now, and I think this could it. I'm just paying attention. You are right. I think you might be right here. Robert Gamble is...
There's 9 laps to go.
Yeah. Robert Campbell's trying to get to P4, and that's Nick Kuhn. And, you have to do it at the end of the straight. Here he comes. He's going to make it. That P4. But P3 it's halfway, it's battling John Lang. Jack Weddle and John Lang are battling. They're 20 seconds up the road. That's going to take 10 laps. That's not going to happen. And the Radicals, well, Eric Smith's only 2 laps down, but there's 8 laps to go. Ravoski starts lap 83 of 90. Yeah, I don't think the Radicals are going to do this either.
I do think the Mazdas ruled the day in this case. At a short track like this, they ruled the day.
Well, as they would say, insert that short track racing gif, but this has been a real challenge, full stop, for everybody. And we have seen a couple casualties because of the chaos that it is around here. So, for all we know, if you had a few more drivers, what would have happened? If you have less drivers, what would have happened? It's still tough because you're still having to navigate the traffic. And even now, Eric Smith is just trying to get his way around, and he's unable to because there he goes. He's trying to get around John Lang. He's just gone past Jack Weddle. Finally gets through. By the way, Ross Banfield finally pits. A bit late for that. I've got to be brutally honest. Is that a throwing in the towel there from Ross Banfield? Because leaving it late to pit. Don't know really. Trevor Vavoski starts lap 84 of 90. Where's Rob Gamble? He's only 11 seconds ahead of Vavoski. He's not going to do it. Let's rule out the TCR. Gamble is not going to win this race. Can a Radical? I can't see it. I think we are looking at Vavoski. It's another Mazda winner in the Predator series. But knock on wood, he has got to navigate the rest of the field.
Seven laps to go. Oh, actually, well, that's actually 6 laps to go now. Because Trevor Verbowski crossed the line. And, the math is really starting to come up. Gamble, he doesn't have it. I don't think he does unless a mistake is made by Trevor Verbowski. And he has an accident in the wall, for instance, and major damage. But I just can't see the TCR being able to pull it through to the end, because Eric Smith is only going through the back end of the Mazda field now, and he only passed Jason Lutteridge. He still has 2 laps to make up. He'll make up 1 lap, sure, but I think he is genuinely looking at the best of, well, probably 4th overall.
4th overall? That's still going to be, it's still impressive. But it just goes to show how tough it is to get around it. In fact, Gamble, he's not going to make any more moves because you look at it. He's entering the 2nd hairpin, and Weddle is at the 3rd hairpin. So can't see that happening. Lang and Weddle have been battling all race, by the way. 2 Mr. Apex podcast drivers. So it's friendly battling. They're still holding in together as though they go on as well, but we're seeing these drivers all go around. By the way, Sean Brown has yet to pit. Cannot tell me he's taking that Radical without pitting. Cannot tell me. Please tell me he has to pit.
Who? Trevor?
No, Sean Brown. No way that Radical can go the whole 90 minutes without pitting.
I'm pretty sure they have to come in for a splash and dash at some point.
So did I. So did I. In fact, Eric Smith's coming for a splash and dash. That's
a very big. That's a very big splash and dash if ever I've seen one.
Is that a conceding of defeat? That's interesting.
No, he's back out. Well, I mean, it's not conceding defeat if he never had a chance in the first place. Like, the numbers were just stacked against the SR8s, so, you know.
Well, it's lap 87 for Vavosky. Can he just keep it on the straight and narrow? And literally narrow when you think about how tiny this track is. He lets a couple more drivers through. That puts those TCRs of Smith and Brown on 1 lap behind. So they might catch up, but they've got 3 laps to do it. That's going to be a challenge. John Lang and Jack Weddle continue to battle. And that's literally the only battles we've got at the moment. And of course, we are looking at like the overall win, but also each class has their own battles as well. So you look at the battle of Smith and Brown, you look at the battle of Lang and Weddle. They're still important battles in the overall scheme of things. And shout out to Gamble. By default, he wins the TCR class today. Imagine that, just turning up and just winning a class. So I've seen that before once in a broadcast race once, and it was just one driver in the HPD, and it was like, well, I kind of won the HPD. No point me driving. Can't gain any IR. Can't lose any IR.
Well, I mean, if you're the only one there, I mean, you can pat yourself on the back for a job well done. You made it to the end.
Made it. Penultimate lap about to start from Vavosky. All he's got to do, like I said, is keep the car on the track. Elsewhere, is there anything happening? No, Eric Smith, he is trying to get back. He's trying his hardest. Now, he did take tyres earlier on the race, didn't he? And I wonder if that possibly hindered him. Maybe if he didn't take tyres, maybe he might have
more than likely did. I genuinely don't see the point of why he did. Oh.
No. Then again, we don't know how many tyres he did take. But I think the length of it could have been 2, could have been 4. We shall get information later on. But Vavosky, there has been a spin. That's Torres just having a little bit of a moment. It was a little bit of a slide. We're going to spin, a little bit of a slide. But Vavosky is about to see the white flag. Here he goes. Barney's waving that white flag. Lap 90 of 90 at the start. 90 Frights of Tsukuba is almost over. They've had 89 Frights. Now it's time for the 90th Fright. Can they see the checkered flag? It is going to be one of the more agonizing and like, are we there yet minutes of Vavosky's career, I think.
Well, I mean, unless there's some serious damage and he can't make it to the end, I think he does have it in the bag. He's got 30 seconds on everybody, really.
He has, and in fact, even the Radicals are not going to make it. Eric Smith is going to stay a lap down. There's going to be 5 cars on the lead lap. Gamble is not going to be able to overtake and make a mark onto the top 3 overall. He'll stay P4. Vavosky will be coming around the final corner very shortly. He breaks by the hay bales. He throws the Mazda in. First time that we have broadcasted the Mazdas with the new Synchromesh gearboxes. And Vavosky wins the Predator Series, the 90 Frights of Tsukuba. And there is still a little battle going on behind, though, between John Lang and Jack Weddle.
And the rest of the field comes in. Eric Smith coming in to finish. Gavin Barber, Sean Brown taking the pits, or not taking the pits, but taking their checkered flags. Down the field, Jason Lutridge, Javier Pérez Torres, Ernie Ludwig about to cross the line, as is Ian Erasmus, Wayne Hutchinson, and those are the last two to take to the checkered flag.
Pretty sure that everyone has made it. Ravoski will be coming back around. Is he going to be doing any celebratory burn-up, any celebratory donuts? We'll wait and see. Got to. As you see the results just going down the list right now. They are the official race results. Ravoski takes the win by 33.7 seconds. That was the official call from John Lang, and then Jack Weddle right there behind. Lang and Weddle had some great battles going on. Robert Gamble, the TCR, a lone TCR, does make it up to 4th position. A good result there. And then a lap down is Nick Kuhn for the Mazdas. Eric Smith wins the overall Radical stage, the Radical race, but finishes a lap down in 6th. Gavin Barber behind him in 7th, and Sean Brown was 8th. And then we got Robert Kobe a lap down in 9th again. That's for the Mazdas. And as I was thinking, Pavoski is going to do some burnouts. As he almost hits the wall, he does hit the wall.
He did hit the wall.
We continue. Ross Banfield, the 777, he finished a lap down as well. He finished 4th overall for the Radicals. Erasmus in the 808, back to the Mazdas here, a lap down, as was Wayne Hutchinson. Jason Lotterer finished 2 laps down. I think he had a crash early on and just had to, was unable to really get that momentum back. And Murphy Nichols 4 laps down. Then Javier Perez Torres was 4 laps down, and only Ludwig, who did not take the start.
Yeah, he was.
Time.
Yeah, he was he was 7 laps, would have been 8-9 minutes. So he probably would have went for a tinkle and just forgot at the start.
Just thinking, I've got time, and then hang on 1 second, I haven't got time. So,
oh yeah,
not sure.
Yeah, not sure about that one, but what we are sure is that it's the end. We're done.
Are we done? That's a shame. I do love when we.
I mean, it was a little crazy out there in Tsukuba.
Well, before we go, I think it's only fair to bring in the race winner, Trevor Vavoski. Congratulations once again. Congratulations, Trevor, for the victory. I mean, you had a dominating performance with the Mazdas, but it wasn't all so easy out there, was it?
No, that was a blast of a race. It definitely started off close. I got worried. It's really weird running these races where you have 90 laps and you just have these radicals that are turning 12 seconds a lap faster than you, and you have no idea if their delta puts them a lap in front of you or a lap behind you. So you have to push all 90 laps. So it makes it really stressful in that sense.
Yeah, and just tell me about that as well with 90 laps, because we're talking about not only just 90 laps, but it's a short time. We're talking, like, for you yourself, 1 minute 3 lap times. So what is the concentration like? Because it's tough in itself to do 90 minutes full stop, but when you've got when you've got a track that is almost repetitive, you're doing the same thing every minute for 90 minutes. Was there a lapse of the concentration?
Well, one lap, I don't know if you guys caught it, but coming out of the hairpin at the bottom of the track, I just kind of drifted off to the left of the track and got in the dirt, like almost spun out of the car just because I lost that concentration. Tsukuba's really deceptive in that you would think like, oh, it's nice, it's simple, it's flat, it's got this nice little lap, you just get into a rhythm. But there's no, like, the longest break you get is maybe a couple seconds, and then you're right back to, all right, I gotta hit this mark, I gotta turn in here, I gotta pitch the car like this, where are the radicals at? Like it's the amount of concentration was definitely tough. I know I found myself a few times trying to look to a different spot in my room and blink a few times because of my eyes were just open for 3 laps straight or something. So, yeah, the concentration level and the amount of just constant cornering is really stressful.
And the temperature, because it's 59 Celsius. It's, 132 Fahrenheit. I don't know if you've ever driven in temperatures like that. The closest I've had is probably like 55 on an oval. So I don't know if you've ever had to experience that before.
Oh, I'm getting the hot temperatures doubly because this is the hottest I've ever seen a track temp on iRacing. And this is probably the hottest weekend for where I live right now. It's 106 degrees outside, and got the AC going as much as I can, but I'm dripping in sweat right now.
That's wow, 106. I can't imagine that. If it gets 100 Fahrenheit, that's too much for us. So I can understand that. One thing I wanted to ask. Because the Mazdas recently had a change. I don't know if you've driven them beforehand outside of rookies. So how was that as well? Basically having proper synchro mesh, so you weren't, if you were using auto clutch, you just hit the pedal and you hear the clutch in. But now when it's not, it was just streamlined. Did that help, especially around a track like Tsukuba?
I would say for sure. Not having to worry about making sure you're hitting your clutch timing and making sure you're putting the H pattern in the right spot. I would say it definitely helped. It allows you, it shifts the focus from hitting your shifts and hitting your marks to you can just laser focus in on hitting your marks on the track. This is my first race running it on this new update, and aside from just the shifting update, the actual dynamics of the car feel like they've shifted as well. So that was I think it was actually really helpful in allowing me to be as smooth as I was, or at least trying to be.
Rob, I don't know if you've got any questions, Rob.
No, but are you ready? Where's the next round? It's
Watkins Glen.
Yeah, are you ready for Watkins Glen?
Oh, yes. Watkins Glen is I love that track. It's one of my favorite tracks. I'm not sure what layout we're running. If it's the Cup course, I'm gonna be so happy. If it's the boot, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a very long race.
It's classic boot.
Ooh.
Which I think I think is going to be a little bit, which is going to be even more interesting because there's no bus stop. There's no, it's just the outer loop. So that's going to be very interesting to see what happens on that long straight. So you love it, I love it. I can't wait for Watkins Glen. I don't know about you. If you got any shout outs before we let you go and clean the, wring yourself out from the sweat like a towel.
Shout out to everyone that showed up. We know that it's been coming off the Majors 24 and then the Le Mans 2.4 hour and then coming right back and trying to do another race like this. I know it put a lot of people with a lot of stress trying to decide whether or not that was something they wanted to do, and I really appreciate everyone that came out. We had a great race. And Mike, Sam, all the guys on the CC that are putting together this series, because this series is such a labor of love from Mike and whatnot. To have this whole idea and getting to run Predator is really, really a blast. And shout out to all my teammates who didn't show up to this race because they were either taking a break or they're at the 6 hours of the Glen. So,
or also being very smart and not racing in 106 Fahrenheit.
Yep.
Well, Trevor, once again, congratulations on the victory. Go and have a cool down, and like I said, any other things, and hopefully we will see you. We definitely will see you for the Glen, and enjoy watching the Glen. I think a lot of people will as well, and we will see you around.
Thank you.
Now, Rob, it's officially over.
It's all over. And we just got started. It's so sad. But
well, thank you, ladies. Okay,
go ahead.
No, Okay, no, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know what we're doing half the time. That's why we're very professional. But thank you for watching the 90 Frights of Tsukuba from the major series on Raidillon TV. If you like what you see, hit that thumbs up button and the subscription button to our YouTube page. We do have membership tiers if you'd like to try that. I always forget, and I must mention the bell icon that will let you know when we have a broadcast scheduled. Our next broadcast will be Wednesday night, the Racing Sim Rigs World Series. Hopefully for this week, it will be a few more weeks left to that series as well. Elsewhere as well, underneath our video, once again, a shout out to trackcams22.com providing cameras. We don't have any in-car cameras, but they provide some nice cameras around here. And it is a very interesting, picturesque place, very ruralized, so it's very nice to see what we've got around there as well. Also a link to our Discord behind underneath as well, part of our community as well, so do check that out. And of course, all underneath the video are links to our social media as well. We are now off. It's now Sunday for us. It's
Indeed it is.
Over to midnight, so I think it is time for us to probably give ourselves a rest. We're not going to wring ourselves out from sweat because it is not 106 Fahrenheit over in the United Kingdom and Ireland. But I think we will go for a rest. So with that, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been Craig King.
And I have been Robert O'Brien.
And this is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. Good evening.